Your camera has an auto mode and it's holding you back. Every time you let it decide, you hand away control of the three things that actually make a photo. How bright it is, what's in focus, and whether motion is frozen or blurred. In the next 10 minutes I'm going to give you that control back to you. No jargon, no math, just the three settings that run every camera. And one simple idea that finally makes them click. This is the exposure triangle. Exposure just means how much light reaches your camera's sensor. Too much light and your photo is a washed out white mass, overexposed. Too little and it's a muddy dark shadow, underexposed. Get it right and the photo looks the way your eye saw it. That's the whole game, controlling light. And you control it with exactly 3 settings. Aperture, shutter speed and ISO. Change any one and you change the brightness. But here's what nobody tells beginners. Each of those 3 does a second job, a side effect. One that shapes the whole look of your image. Master that and you're not just exposing correctly, you're making creative choices on purpose. Before we go one by one, here's the idea that makes it all stick. Think of your camera as an eye. Your eye takes in light too and it has the same 3 controls. Aperture is your pupil, how wide it opens. Shutter speed is your blink, how long the eye stays open. And ISO is how hard your brain strains to see in the dark. Pupil, blink, strain. Hold on to that and the triangle stops being technical and starts being obvious. Let's take them one at a time. First, aperture, the pupil of your camera. It's a ring of blades inside the lens that opens wide or closes to a tiny hole, controlling how much light gets through. We measure it in F numbers, and here's the one confusing thing you just have to memorize. A small number means a wide opening, a big number means a small one. F 1.8 is a wide open, the pupil dilated. F16 is a pinhole, squinting. Watch the brightness as I open it up, more light, it's brighter. Close it down, less light, it's darker. That's the first job, light. But now the side effect, the creative one. A wide aperture, the dilated pupil gives you a shallow depth of field. Only your subject is sharp, the background melts into a creamy blur. That's how you get those professional looking portraits. Close it down to f8 or f11 and everything comes into focus front to back. Exactly what you want for landscape. Same shot, f1.8 versus f11, watch the background go from soft to sharp. So aperture controls 2 things at once, brightness and how much of your scene is in focus. Next, shutter speed. This is how long your camera's eye stays open to let light in, measured in fractions of a second. 1/1000th is a fast blink, a tiny sliver of time. 2 full seconds is a long slow stare. The longer it stays open, the more light gets in. Fast shutter dark, slow shutter bright. That's a job 1. Again, light. And the side effect here is motion. A fast shutter freezes everything. A splash midair, a bird's wings. A sprinting dog, frozen, razor sharp. A slow shutter lets moving things blur across the frame. A waterfall turns to silk, car headlights become a streak. But one warning, slow shutter speed catches your movement too. Handheld below about 1/60th of a second and your own tiny shakes blur the photo. That's what a tripod is for. And so shutter speed controls brightness and whatever motion is frozen or flowing. Third ISO, how hard your camera strains to see in the dark. Aperture and shutter physically let in light, ISO is different. It doesn't gather more light, it amplifies the light you already captured, making the whole image brighter. Low ISO like 100 is your eyes in a broad daylight, clean and crisp. Cranking up to 6400 to survive a dark room and, just like your eyes straining in the dark, the image gets grainy. That's static, that's noise, it's the side effect. Watch the grain crawl in as I push from 100 to 1600. So the rule is simple. Keep ISO as low as you can and only raise it when you've run out of other options. Which brings us to how the 3 work together. Here's why it's called a triangle. All three change brightness for exposure. They're interchangeable. Need more light? You can open the aperture or slow the shutter or raise ISO. Any of them brightens the shot by the same amount, which means for any scene there are many correct exposures. But they don't look the same because of those side effects. Open the aperture, you get a blurry background. Slow the shutter, motion smears. Raise ISO, grain creeps in. So exposure isn't about finding the one right answer, it's about deciding which side effect you want and letting the other two balance around it. That's the whole skill. Let me make it concrete. Shooting a portrait, you want the blurry background. So we start with a wide aperture, f1.8, and let shutter and ISO fall in line. Shooting sports, you want frozen motion. So you start with a fast shutter on 1/1000th and open up or raise ISO to keep it bright. Landscape, you want everything sharp, so we start at f11. Put the camera on a tripod and keep ISO at 100. Darkroom, no tripod. Now you're forced to raise ISO and accept some grain. A slight noisy photo beats a blurry or black one every time. See the pattern. Pick the one thing the shoot needs. Set that setting first and balance the other two. Your camera is an eye. Aperture is the pupil, light and focus. Shutter is the blink, light and motion. ISO is shining in the dark, light and grain. All three control brightness. Each has a side effect. And photography is just choosing which side effect you want. Flip your camera off auto into aperture or manual mode. And change just one setting at a time. Watch what happens. That's how this goes from a theory to instinct. If this finally made the triangle click, subscribe. I break down one camera idea at a time. I'll see you in the next one.